Top 5 places more mysterious than the Bermuda Triangle. The cases recorded of mysterious plane and ship vessel disappearances have made the Bermuda Triangle a dreaded place. Some even go ahead with claims that aliens or supernatural manifestations are the cause of the weird occurrences in the Atlantic waters neighboring Florida and Puerto Rico. Apparently, the Bermuda Triangle is famously referred to as the Devil's Triangle following a mind-blowing encounter. Even with its creepy name, do you think there's anywhere else in the world more mysterious than the Bermuda Triangle? We'll take you through the top 5 places that are more mysterious than the Devil's Triangle. A little word of advice: don't dare watch this video alone, because you'll probably suffer a panic attack. Like the Bermuda Triangle, the Bennington Triangle vaguely refers to a triangular mapping to an area where strange occurrences have been happening. Things like extraterrestrial activities or mysterious disappearances. And the Bennington Triangle hasn't fallen short of either of the two. What was once a logger's paradise was befallen by a series of mysterious incidents for years. In 1945, the first incident struck Glastonbury Town, where 74-year-old Mitty Rivers disappeared. Rivers was a local hunter who'd been heading a hunting expedition when he disappeared. The group, shocked that they'd been separated from their leader, started searching for him after hours of searching. With no success, they gave up and headed to town. They reported the incident to authorities, but they were sure he'd turn up, as he was very skilled at survival tactics. After he hadn't turned up in days, concerned locals set out a search party of 300 men to find him. Also, a group of army soldiers joined to help find Mr. Rivers. 8 days later, nothing was found to suggest what had happened to Rivers or where he disappeared to. And just a year later, another disappearance happened in Bennington. This time, an 18-year-old Bennington student disappeared as she went for a hike. Something must have gone wrong as she headed to the long trail for her hike, as she wasn't seen again after leaving her hotel. Despite countless search efforts and even reward money being dispatched, she was never found. This case remains open to date. 3 years later, the Bennington Triangle was out for blood again. And as sure as daylight, she got what she was out for after the most mind-blowing disappearance happened. A 68-year-old man named James Tedford vanished from a moving bus. How it happened, nobody on the bus can even explain it. But the truth of the matter was that James had boarded that bus to Bennington, and he never alighted at any bus stop. His luggage and personal belongings were also still on the said bus, but he wasn't. Do you think this was a UFO attack? Because no other being has such unique capabilities as this one. The last known incident was an 8-year-old boy who disappeared while playing outside his home. His mother, who had gone to feed their pigs, only left him for a couple of minutes before she noticed he was gone. Like the rest of the stories of Bennington, he was nowhere to be found. Even the sniffer dog that had been brought in to help with the search lost track of his scent somewhere at a crossroad. Now, I don't know about this, but it sounds very freaky. Freaky enough is that all residences left, and now it lives on as a ghost town haunted by the lost lives. Do you believe in treasure hunts? Our next topic will feature one of the most dangerous treasure hunts of all time, where many have disappeared, lost their lives, or come back with frightening testimonies. Would you dare stake out on such an expedition? Stay tuned and experience what people on the ground have experienced after visiting the Superstition Mountains. The Arizona desert is nothing short of spectacular. It has dainty physical features, terrain, superstitious cliffs, and mountains. Tucked away neatly somewhere, unknown to many, lies the Dutchman Mine, which for a very long time has lured hundreds if not thousands to it in search of a mysterious $200 million treasure that was hidden more than a century ago. Due to this mystery, a lot of stories and folktales have enticed explorers, those who dared to go to never return to their families, while some began and cowered running back to the safety of their homes. But somehow, there's been documented evidence of very strange happenings around this region. It's said that the journey towards the treasure is no doubt a one-man's job, as many who choose to go in groups end up turning on each other, leaving everyone, whether it be fatally injured or worse. Since there's some kind of gas that leads to confusion and hallucination amongst people, you'll see things that are only figments of your imagination, or hear strange voices calling to you. Before you know it, you'll find yourself jumping over a cliff or drowning yourself in a river. Legend claims that few people guard the treasure, and they pick selectively the people who are worthy of that treasure. The rest of the bunch are tortured till their last breath. Nobody has come up with a definite reason for the loss of many lives to treasure hunting in this region. Even today, it continues to claim the lives of more people, sometimes those who aren't on a quest to discover the hidden treasure too. A good example is the 2011 tragedy where a young mother lost all 3 of her kids and ex-husband. Their plane crashed head-on into the mountains, and authorities claimed it was a mere pilot's error. But from the stories of this place, you can't help but wonder if it was something else. I know you're probably wondering why we decided to include a lake on our list, yet there's numerous other bigger bodies of water that would give you nightmares. First of all, you should know that this is no ordinary lake, and its temperature is extremely low. Stick around and find out why Lake Superior is more mysterious than the Bermuda Triangle. Lake Superior stands as the largest freshwater lake in the whole world. What else would you expect in a destination that experiences waves raging over 20 feet tall? It experienced its fair share of bad luck, with more than 5 vessels capsizing, never to be found again. Amongst the vessels were 2 warships that attempted crossing the Great Lake back in the early 90s, where they experienced violent winds, capsizing both boats. The weird part is that neither boat ever turned up on the other side, and no bodies were ever retrieved even after several rescue efforts. That paints a clear picture of the supernatural manifestation present in action. Under no circumstances can I dare to cruise on these dangerous waters, which are now famous for claiming bodies. Science has tried to change the narrative, claiming the low temperatures of the water prevent the bacteria causing bodies to float to exist in such waters. I don't think that's enough proof for the mysterious disappearance of bodies and water vessels. What do you think? What about a highway that's led to many tears, lost hope, and devastated parents and families of the Canadian people? No one can answer where more than 20 girls disappeared to. Authorities have been left with large files of open cases. The corpses of the victims haven't been recovered, and neither has there been any solid suspects arrested or charged for the disappearance of the girls. The crimes in this region have been so well executed that even the best can't get a whip of what's going on. There isn't any other known location in the world that has found itself in such a devastating mystery like the Highway to Tears. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and you want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in our future videos. The Caribbean sandy beaches are the place everyone dreams of going for a getaway, but almost all of us are unaware of what lurks in the depths of the sea. We can only experience this mystery on the southeastern coast of the Caribbean, where one of 25 wonders of the world hide in plain sight. Beneath the cool breeze, spicy foods, and welcoming locals lies a magnificent underwater sculpture park in Grenada. You'll have to put on your swim gear to dive 6 feet deep, where you'll see a phenomenal park at the bottom of Molinier Bay. If you're afraid of water, you can hop onto the next glass floor boat that'll give you an aerial view of the park. If you might be wondering how these sculptures found their way into the waters, then you'd be surprised to know that someone intentionally crafted them with concrete and steel and placed them inside the water. I won't go into scientific detail of how a 15-ton concrete carving sinks in water and how a huge ship floats, except for the fact that they were somewhat bolted to the sea floor. I think whoever thought of this innovation needs an award. There are numerous other designs, including a man on a typewriter, female structures, and a guy riding a motorcycle. Rumor has it, the sculptures represent the slaves thrown into the sea back in the day. The group of about 26 children is what left many talking, coming up with different theories. Some claimed it was a symbol of the oppressed children, while others claimed it could be a representation of the circle of life. Other sources believe it's a symbol of unity and resilience. It's still unclear up to today, but speculations have it that the people down there might still be alive and only freeze when the onlookers are around. Yikes. I guess no such occurrences like this have been reported in the Bermuda Triangle. For now, we'll set aside the mysterious finding and embrace the beauty of the sculptures. Unless you're afraid of ghosts, let's meet down there and have an experience of our lives.